Now this was all fun and good, but now let's talk about the really sexy stuff. Law enforcement. Paragraph 2 on page 47. Staffing of law enforcement needs to keep up with the needs of society. A temporary effort needs to be directed at increasing the number... A temporary effort needs to be directed at increasing the number of police trainees at university level to increase security and professionalism within the police. Increasing the number of well-educated police officers will make it possible to improve services, shorten investigation times, and improve the quality of police work. Not gonna lie, reading that out loud just gave me an erection. Like, this is what I've been waiting for the past, I don't know, 10 or 5 or 10 years. Now, the devil is in the details, just how many more police officers are gonna be trained and hired. I think, as of current, the size of the police force in Iceland stands at around 700, if my memory serves me correctly, and according to most estimates we would need to hire 100 to 150 more officers just so they could take care of all of the cases and tasks that are piling up as reports piles on police desks somewhere. So yeah, the police is severely understaffed, and obviously they always prioritize the most serious cases, take care of most serious cases beforehand. But this means that it's quite easy for low-level or mid-level offenders to get away with committing lots and lots of small offenses. Like, lots of the organized crime that's being done right now are organized gangs that steal little bits of merchandise from stores or businesses or whatever, just a little bit here and there, so there's never a major crime reported, so it just gets filed away somewhere and never solved, and then they just sell the merchandise at a huge profit. So yeah, this is just, if they follow through with this, like all the way, do it properly, hire bunch of police and fully train them, and if they hire more investigators to making investigation time shrink, then yeah, this would also just save the economy dozens, if not hundreds of billions of kronur that we are otherwise paying in insurance fees and God knows what else, to pay for the damages of all of those crimes. So again, not that the crime rate in Iceland is high or anything, but all these small things, they add up, and yeah, somebody needs to flip the bill somewhere. So yeah, this, I think, to me was just the most satisfying thing in the governing treaty. But beneath that it says, both independent internal and external supervision of police work should be reviewed. Action taken in other Nordic countries and which have given the best results will be examined. So yeah, another problem with policing in Iceland is, as we have as more and more organized crime has taken hold, and a higher likelihood of gang members being armed or whatnot, police there's a higher chance now of police using firearms, or amount of instances where an armed response unit has been sent to arrest someone or engage with suspects or whatever has almost doubled in a few years. And yeah, the more the police gets used to using this sort of excessive force, or being heavily armed, there's just unfortunately a much higher likelihood that they just stop appreciating the power and responsibility of carrying deadly weapons, and this unfortunately comes with a higher likelihood of them just getting careless and shooting someone when they shouldn't, or something, or whatever else could happen. So yeah, it is possible that, you know, if law enforcement in Iceland were to be strengthened, we also need to review the mechanisms to which police are held responsible for when they fuck up, because everybody fucks up sometimes. When I have fucked up at my job, when I fuck up my job, the company loses a customer or two. Every policeman or woman has fucked up at some point in their job, but when they fuck up, people can get hurt. There's a difference, and so obviously there needs to be accountability. So more on law enforcement. Work will continue on shortening the waiting lists for offenders to serve their sentences, and improvements to Litlahraun prison will continue. Prisoners' access to diverse education, activity and support after their release will be improved. So this is basically just continuation of what has already been done in the government's last term. I made a full video about that. I'll put a link to that in the description. Check that out. You know, I go into way more detail about this, but yeah. One thing that is very good that has happened in the past few years is that the waiting lists for offenders to start doing their sentences has been decreasing a lot, actually. Basically, a higher amount of Icelandic prisoners are doing community service and stuff rather than, you know, just being in prison. Obviously this accounts for mainly the low-level offenders, but it means that, you know, there's more prison space available, so that prison, you know, sentenced men or women don't have to wait before starting their sentence as much as they used to be, because that would sometimes mean that their sentence would simply be written off because they waited so long, because there was no space available, and yada yada yada. Like I said, check out the video in the description. It covers this topic way better than I want to do here in a very short segment within a larger video. Anyway, I really hope that you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment also. Comments really help in the algorithm. I mean, not really. I mean, the algorithm really hates me for some reason. So yeah, if you ever see the algorithm walking down the street, please give it a nice kick in the gut from me. Fuck that guy.